Third time's a charm live here from Martinsville. This is the Di9 NAOR series. I'm Josh Coppernoll. I'm joined by Jonathan Canfield. How you doing, John?
Good evening, Josh. I'm great. Ready to see an awesome race here with the Di9 NAOR series at Martinsville. You know, going from last week with Darlington, very different track. The little paperclip, short track racing. Could see some tempers, some dive bombs. Definitely a high possibility of some crashes, or maybe we'll get, the field spread out here and maybe, who knows, we might go green checkered. This series never ceases to amaze me when it comes to green checkered racing, and they do it the best out of any series I've seen. So I'd say it's unpredictable because every track I think they're going to wreck at is a track that they go green checkered at.
All right, and not much of a pre-show this time around. We're already getting ready for qualifying, so tell me, who is your pick to win tonight?
Well, we had someone show up here tonight to run with this Di9 NAOR series that we've seen dominate in the ITPN truck series. So, I mean, he's fast right now on the board. He's fast in general in any car you put him in. I got to go with the 92 with Jonathan Parker.
You stole my pick. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the driver of the 69, Chris Wright. We've seen him running up front every single week. He's fast everywhere. I think, you know what? It's time somebody shows Parker that he can't come into a series and dominate Chris Wright. I think he's going to be the man to win tonight.
And who knows, maybe next time you'll pick first so you can steal my pick.
And right now we're watching driver of the number 2 qualify. He is so far top of the points.
Cheney just finished up his second lap. Right now, P2 as Nick Hapiak jumps to the top of the board.
Zachary Meredith coming across the line. Finish his qualifying. Sorry, that was only lap 1 for his qualifying time. Zachary Meredith, P1. Meredith losing it off of 4 for his second lap. Not going to have a chance to improve. Andrew Chapman sitting P6. Watching Morton take qualifying laps. He's currently P7. Snyder starting his time. Go ahead, Jonathan.
And I was just getting ready to ask Josh, while we watch these drivers qualify, I pretty much said my expectations in the opening of the broadcast, but I'm curious, what are your expectations of this league and this track here tonight?
You know, I actually got to run with these guys last season at this track, and I was very impressed as a competitor. or at least attempt to compete with these guys, they're on a whole nother level. And you know, you mentioned it, that these guys can go green to checkered without a caution. Last week at Darlington, we only saw one caution come out. So I think, you know, expectations, these guys, I don't know if it is going to be a green to checkered race, but I do not expect this race to be filled with cautions.
Well, and as we come down to the final 30 seconds here in qualifying, I'm noticing somebody has not rolled off. Oh, not final 30 seconds. I apologize. I have the wrong time for the wrong league here. This is a 10-minute qualifying session, but I'm noticing someone still sitting at the end of pit road is the 92 Jonathan Parker, still yet to make a lap, as most of the field has already made their lap here tonight.
Yeah, Parker has not come out just yet. Might be waiting to see if track might get a little bit cooler. 70 degrees is track temp. Chris Wright, he is attempting his first qualifying lap. And Chris Wright's going to go P8 on his first lap. Zachary Meredith still holding the spot. I'll tell you, I'm a little impressed with that run Meredith had.
And, you know, another driver to talk about that's up there on the speed charts right now is a driver, as Chris Wright goes to the top of the board, a 19.723 over a 19.791. But Pacey Wygant, we've seen him make his debut at a short track with New Hampshire. Another short track here tonight, and he looks like he's got some speed in his car. So maybe short tracks are Pacey Wygant's thing, even though he's a Talladega winner.
Very possible. Pacey is another driver I've been really impressed with since he has come into the series. He's been up front all the races he's been in so far. Nobody on track at the moment that is actually continuing to take qualifying laps. Donald Kite, only driver taking any laps, and he currently sits P13 on the charts. Kite, he's locked up his tires a little bit here during these little practice runs. See some smoke coming out left front, but just trying to get a little bit of practice in before the race. Track continues to stay calm right now. Again, Kite only one out on track right now. Parker isn't going to take any qualifying laps. He's going to have to come from the back. And short tracks, sometimes that can be a scary thing. And we did talk about, you know, this being more of a cleaner series where I would not expect to have too many cautions, but it could be scary trying to fight through the traffic, even though things may be clean, maybe calm, doesn't mean that you might not get roughed up just a little bit, banging some fenders. And I'm kind of excited to see what Parker has. Well, I say that. Guess who's rolling? Jonathan Parker taking the green flag. He was waiting until the last minute. Parker goes P3 on his first lap. 0.08 of a second off pole sitter Chris Wright through 3 and 4. It's going to be P2 for Jonathan Parker. Wow. That was an incredible qualifying run there for Jonathan Parker. But let's go ahead and go through our starting lineup. And on the pole is going to be Chris Wright, followed by Jonathan Parker in P2. Zachary Meredith will start third, Pacey Wygent fourth, and Nick Hapiak will start fifth.
Starting sixth is going to be last week's winner, the 76 of Kenneth Cheney. To next row back is going to be. I'm terrible with first names, and I don't have the roster right in front of me. McGuire, I'll get his first name, I promise. But he will be starting in the 7th position. Right behind him will be the 2 of Jones in the 8th position. Next is Cole Snyder in the 24 and 9th position. Andrew Chapman in the 10th position. Jeff Lednum is going to be starting in the 11th position. Mark Morton is going to be starting in the 12th position. Josh Arnold in the 13th position. And Donald Kite starting out back in the 14th position. Austin McGill will not be making a start here tonight. Enrique Quinones and Mike Campbell round out your field in the, what would be the 15th, 16th spot, I believe.
And that is your starting lineup for today's race. And the Di9.
That is
NAOR. So
go ahead. NAOR. Just to correct myself, that is Chase McGuire in the number 7, starting 7th.
So, how about it? Both of our picks on the front row.
Yeah, and that means it's going to be one heck of a race. I'm excited. Both of them within a 100th of each other. Almost to the thou of how close they were with that 100.
And I told Josh Arnold I was going to make this joke, so I'm going to do it. Looking at Jonathan Parker's scheme, I think some of these drivers, they're going to need some of that Excedrin after this race is over. This track,
absolutely.
This track, it is demanding on you. Constant braking, constant turning. This track is known as the paperclip, and you know, it can be a headache. It really can be. This is absolutely by far my favorite short track to race on, but it has its moments where this track could easily make you regret having it as your favorite. Base truck is in. Chris Wright, he has the command. Inside the restart zone, green flags in the air. We are underway here at Martinsville. And Parker,
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say it. Field goes down side by side, and Parker getting a monster run on the outside. The outside works here for a couple laps, but you got to get down quick. You don't want to be that driver stuck up on the outside lane. We heard it at the Clash in real life. You'll hear it in real life at Martinsville. You'll hear it here on the sim. It's the same thing. You got to get down at these short tracks. And right now, Jonathan Parker leads the way, followed very closely by Pacey Wygent. We mentioned he has speed on short tracks. He's showing it here tonight with arguably one of the best drivers we've seen on JCTV.
And I think Parker is struggling just a little bit to find the bottom. Seemed like the whole last lap he could not hit the bottom. Kind of left that door open for Wygent. Chris Wright, on the other hand, he went from first to third immediately. Not the opening lap he wanted to have.
Absolutely. He falls back into the third position, and, you know, right now just really a lot of these drivers, I think, are just feeling out the field, what they're going to have for the night. And as we see in typical NAOR fashion, the field very strung out here at the beginning as we have an early caution on track.
It's going to be Byron Jones.
Ooh. And I'm sure you're looking at it on JCTV's replay, but I just went back and looked at it myself. Looks like Jones just grabbed a little bit of curb there on exit, self-spun himself around.
I believe this is it right here. I could not find it, but I believe I have. Oh, yeah. He did a great job not hitting that inside wall, locking it up. So no damage for Byron Jones in that two machine. So that's good news. Bad news is his tires are probably screaming at him.
Absolutely. And now we get our second restart of this race. And we seen what I would say is a calm restart at the beginning. But drivers really only felt each other out for 4 laps. But now you got Chris Wright right there in that third position, and you got Pacey Wygent going to be in the same position that Jonathan Parker was in. Do we see maybe a similar move made by Pacey Wygent to take the outside around and get himself to the lead, or does Chris Wright hold up the inside and not let Pacey Wygent down? Could see a lot of shuffling here on this restart.
You know what my thoughts are here is that on the initial start of the race, leader has to go on green. And I'm wondering if it was a matter of Parker anticipating the green flag a little bit better than Wright did. This restart, Parker can go whenever he wants inside that restart zone. It's going to be on Parker. And so I think that my assumption here is that Parker should really not have a contested restart from Wygent unless if Wygent times it perfectly.
That's a great point to bring up, but again, we've seen Pacey Wygent a couple races now. We know he's aggressive when it comes to these short runs, and we'll see how he attacks right here as the pace truck is off and the field comes towards that start zone.
And off turn 4. Inside the restart zone, green flag is in the air. Wygent spun the tires a little bit. But he's
he did.
Yeah, he's going to be clear of Chris Wright, though. Wygent maintains P2, and there's contact in the back. I don't think anybody went around, but I heard some kind of contact.
I believe it was between the 7 of McGuire and the 76 of Cheney, and yes, we do. Might have been a little bit of payback there. have to go back and look at it. I'm going to go all the way back to when the contact started. Indeed, there was contact between the 7 and the 76. The 7 kind of moved the 76 out of the way. And I think the 76, maybe with the help of netcode, but also might have just said, I'm not going to take that from you.
So let's see. Here was the contact that you were talking about there. And yeah, right there. Next corner.
And the good news for any of those drivers involved in that wreck, this league does not count caution laps. So sit on pit road, fix your damage as long as it may take, and get back out there and keep running.
Yeah, you don't have to keep rolling. You can be past the pace car. Be passed by the pace car, rather, and you will stay on the same lap that you were on when the caution came out. Now, as soon as that pace car comes down pit road, the field takes to green, it's a different story. But right now, these drivers, you just sit there, and that's the case you see with McGuire, because he is now rolling. He was passed by the pace car, and McGuire, he's still on the lead lap.
So Josh, I think we're seeing something we don't really see much in NAOR, which is some short runs here. 7 laps in, what have you thought about it so far?
I'll tell you what, I think it's going to take a lot of patience out of these drivers, and you know, maybe an Excedrin for all of these guys as well. Because I think the stress is already getting to some of these guys. Long race, 194 laps to go in this Di9 Designs NAOR Series race at Martinsville. That pace truck has made its way down pit road. Jonathan Parker once again with the restart and green flag in the air. Pacey Wygen, he had a great restart there.
Yes, he did, and he's got that high line coming off at 2, but Jonathan Parker showing that the bottom side is just a little bit better. Pacey going to hang out there, see if he can battle for this lead. I don't know if it's going to prevail. Jonathan Parker is just a scotch better on the bottom, but Pacey's getting a great run off right now.
I'm wondering, if I'm Wygen, seeing that hole close quickly by right, I might just tuck in behind. Oh, and Wygen's going to run wide. He's going to lose a couple.
Yeah, that's going to drop him all the way back to the 4th position, and if I'm him, I need to get down right now. I need to cool the tires off. I just sent it in real deep to a corner. Tires are going to be hot. They're going to be mad. And now we see Chris Wright attacking our leader here of Jonathan Parker.
Chris Wright, he's there. Entering a little bit higher. Trying to maybe diamond the corner. I didn't really see a diamond corner there. He's just about half a lane higher than I would expect here.
He is doing a high-low, not particularly a diamond, but he's getting really low on exit trying to get a run off. So it can work, and so far it's keeping him glued to the back bumper of this 92, but honestly, it could be hurting his tires if he's pushing too hard right here. As the 6 of Nick Hapiak behind them gets in the wall, that opens the door for Pacey Wygen to make a move to his inside.
And Pacey Wygen will take over that 3rd position from Nick Hapiak, but Hapiak putting up a fight, rather, going to go wide here. Hapiak already struggling early on in this race.
And again, I keep coming back to the leaders, but it's because that's where the battle is right now. Chris Wright all over the bumper of Jonathan Parker. Still got plenty of laps to go here, but Chris Wright is forcing the issue right now, trying to get Jonathan Parker to make a mistake.
And they are running so close. Lap times are very similar out of these two drivers, Parker and Wright. Parker has been absolutely on fire in the NAOR Truck Series. Chris Wright has been on fire in this series. And I'm sorry I said that absolutely wrong. Parker has been dominant in the ITPN trucks. Wright here in NAOR, Di9 Designs NAOR Series. We've got two of the best racing around each other right now for the race lead here at Martinsville. Further back, Morton and Snyder. They're battling. Oh, Snyder in the wall a little bit off of 2.
I think Snyder grabbed a little bit of wall again there. It looks like on exit, he's just running a little bit higher, not really knowing where the wall is, where the limit is on track.
Right side of his machine looks untouched, but pretty sure he scuffed that wall a couple of times.
And somebody I'm keeping my eye on throughout the field. I heard him pre-race come on the radio. His first laps on this track were in qualifying, and you've talked about him plenty this season, Josh. He's been a student, and he's been learning iRacing coming over from the console. Donald Kite started 14th. He's up to 11th right now, and it looks like he's keeping pace. And honestly, kind of just like a student. He's going to school, he's logging laps, he's learning as he's out there, and he's going to pick. I anticipate him picking up pace as this race goes on.
We got a change for the lead. Chris Wright took the lead away from Jonathan Parker.
One thing I'm seeing out of that 69 right now, he is getting in the corners really hot. He and Jonathan Parker are on the brakes relatively the same time as we have a caution on track.
It's Morton.
Oh, and the front end is KO'd on that machine. We'll go back and take a look at what happened. And it looks like yet again another self-spin here and hard contact to that inside wall.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that it's kind of taken this long for somebody to do that from the outside line. We did see, spin earlier in the race where the apron or the curb was clipped. But, a common thing here at Martinsville is getting on the throttle too fast. And I think that might have just been the case there for Morton. Very unfortunate. I've been told, to get around Martinsville, and this is definitely the case. And this is kind of how you explain a lot of short track racing and racing with sensitive cars, that you really want to pretend like there's an egg under your throttle. And so you just want to be very gentle, pull into the throttle super nicely, slowly, carefully. And if you're not too careful with it, you know, break that egg, and you know, essentially your car will snap loose. And I think that might have been a case here in what we just saw. So we are under a caution for the third time. Chris Wright started on the pole. He lost the lead to Jonathan Parker on the opening start. But Wright, he's electing the outside here and giving Parker the inside. Interesting decision, but Wright is the control car. He gets to choose where he wants to go inside the restart zone. Going to be interesting to see if Parker is able to challenge the inside line. That pace truck is in the safety of pit road as they're coming up turn 4. Going to be inside the restart zone here. Green flag is waving. A little bit of tire spin out of Parker, I believe. Right. He's still on the outside. Parker is there challenging on the inside. They're side by side for race lead. Right has Parker clear. And he's easily going to get in front of Parker. Meanwhile, back here, Zachary Meredith, he is stuck on the outside, facing Cole Snyder. Meredith trying to get in front of Snyder, just there's not a hole. Snyder drives it in deep. Meredith trying to get in front of Kenneth Cheney. He does. Meredith finally clear on that inside. Cheney taking a look, not quite able to. Meredith in P5 here. Wright still leading. Race leader Chris Wright still leading. Jonathan Parker at P2. Mason Wygen is third, and those three drivers, I think they're gonna absolutely put on one heck of a show as the season winds down. Only a few more races to go. Di9 designed NAOR series. Cole Snyder, he's hanging on in 4th place. A little ways back here, Jeff Lednum, he is going to get around Meredith. Meredith, he is falling down to 7th place. Kenneth Cheney has gotten around Meredith, and he has a near pole of Nick Apiak. Oh, Lednum. Got a little loose there off of 4. Apiak. Look at the inside of Zachary Meredith. Apiak is there. Meredith just holding on for dear life right now. Oh, Apiak moves up. They make a little bit of contact. Meredith settles in behind Apiak. Apiak came down pit road 10 laps ago. Wondering if he put on some fresh sticker tires on his number 6 machine. Juicy Spider Gaming, shout out to them for all they have done. They put together a lot of graphics and the opening videos that you saw here tonight. Nick Apiak getting around Jeff Lednum But 6 machine in 6th. Meanwhile, battle for P2. AC Wygen is all over the back bumper of Jonathan Parker. And Chris Wright, he's starting to make a little bit of a gap here over Parker. Wygen looking to try to get around that 92 himself in P2. Parker holding on strong though. Wygen can't look too far, too quick rather. It's at 24, Cole Snyder, he is there, stalking that 00, pacing Wygen as well. Held on so far to P2. It's gotten a little bit of a gap over Pacey Wygen. Wygen still right there within striking distance. Oh, Snyder once again tagging that wall.
And this time there is some marks on the 24 car with that wall tap.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the rest of the times that it's really looked like he's gotten into it, if it's that neck code. That time he definitely was hanging in there for a little bit. Oh, Snyder. He went wide into the corner. I'm not sure if locked up his brakes. But Nick Kapiak is now P4.
And Nick Kapiak, the benefactor of a tough break for Cole Snyder right there. As you look through the field, not a whole lot of battling going on much elsewhere. Josh Arnold now up to the 8th position after starting 13th. He's making some moves. Other than that, if you go back to the back of the field, right behind Josh Arnold, you've got Chapman, Kite, Lednum, Jones. There's a 4 or 5 car pack right behind Josh Arnold, just waiting for each other to make mistakes and pounce on each other.
These guys are running super close. Oh, Chapman, he is gonna slide, saves it. And that's gonna open up the door for Donald Kite. Chapman not allowing that to happen. He closes that door. Kite a little loose off the corner. And here comes Jeff Lednum inside Donald Kite. Oh, we have a caution, front stretch. It is Campbell.
And that 71 machine is tore up right now. It's going to be interesting to go back and see what happened. Off the exit of 4 again. That's our 3rd victim of the exit of 4, and he almost saves that car. That ends up overcorrecting and getting the outside wall. Heavy damage to the front of that 71 car.
And I do apologize. Trying to get the replays to you guys as quickly as possible, but my controls are not being nice to me today. got it going. I noticed. Chris Wright is up there next to the wall. Saw a little contact with the wall. Not sure, again, net code or if it was legit contact.
As most of the field comes down for pit stops right there, it looks like I'd have to go back on replay and look to confirm this, but it looks like Nick Hapiak might have stayed out there. He is our leader as of right now.
And Nick Hapiak did indeed stay out. He came down under the last caution, used a set of tires, so he's already on a different strategy than the rest of these drivers. So I'm not surprised to see Hapiak stay out here, try to get back on sequence with the rest of the drivers. Nick Hapiak, though, he led 133 laps last season, only to finish 5th. Late caution cycled Hapiak out of the lead, and unfortunately was not able to secure that win. Hunter Peach ended up taking the win that day. 35 laps led. Any other driver to lead any laps? Driver named Samuel Vade led 31. And driver that finished 15th that day, 117 laps down, that would have been the driver for 42, Josh Copperholm. That was also last place. Not one of my proudest moments in NAOR. But we are 1 to green, coming through 3 and 4. Hapiak chose the outside line. It worked for Chris Wright last time. Let's see if it works for Hapiak. Inside the restart zone, green flag is in the air, and Hapiak gets going quickly. This is also going to bring Wygant along. Casey Wygant has a chance to get in front of Chris Wright here. Still side by side. Wygant driving it in a little bit deeper on the outside line. Watch the battle with Parker and Wright. Parker gonna send it in. He's gonna take P3 away, and Wygant is now your race leader.
And this is what I talked about earlier. Pacey Wygant is confident on these short runs. You see how he attacks the corners on cold tires. He knows what it takes to get to the lead.
Three wide. Cole Snyder.
3 wide. Bottom. Contact. Chris Wright losing on that deal. Chris Wright's going to fall all the way back to the 6th spot and possibly more, as Donald Kite is now to his inside.
Donald Kite trying so hard to get in front of Wright. Once again, we've got the Kite and Wright show. Wright finally settling in. He's going to be 7th place. He's got some work to do to get back up to the run. Meanwhile, up here, Parker tries to make a move low. Snyder blocks.
And back for the 5th position. Donald Kite has made the move on Josh Arnold to take over the 5th position. I mentioned him earlier. Donald Kite has learned. He went to school, and now he's learned how to race this track. Put him in the top 5, and he's closing in on these top 4 as Hapiak goes wide. And now Donald Kite fighting for the 4th position.
And Jonathan Parker is going to be to the inside of Cole Snyder, trying to get the 2nd position back. Snyder running hard on the outside. And Parker will clear Snyder. So put Parker in P2. And here comes Donald Kite. As you mentioned, Kite is in 4th. Right there behind Cole Snyder.
And Donald Kite, so far this race, your biggest mover of the race. He started 14th. He's in 4th. He's up 10 spots. The only other driver that's close to that is Josh Arnold, who's right behind him. Josh Arnold starts 13th, and he's up to 5th.
Chase McGuire battling with Chris Wright. Wright going in the wrong direction is McGuire. And I believe, yeah, it's kind of Cheney trying to attack Chris Wright. Oh, Jeff Lednam. I think he had a little bit of a moment there behind Cheney. Got a battle here, though. Donald Kite went a little bit wide there through 3 and 4. Kite was right with Snyder. "16 drivers started this race, 14 left running here at Martinsville. And this thing is only just getting started. 142 laps to go. We got a battle here. Byron Jones to the inside of Josh Arnold.
Chris Wright today keeps going from bad to worse right now. Chris Wright has fallen all the way outside of the top 10 after what happened to him earlier. And now he's under fire from Jeff Lednam, trying to hang on for the 11th spot right now. But, man, it's just going from bad to worse for Chris Wright as he ends up back here in traffic.
I'm really surprised. Wright, his car looks really clean. I don't think that it would be down on power at all. I'm wondering if his tires are just really upset. Right, I think he just needs to settle in, get into rhythm, and go back to business as usual. Oh, Apiak wide. Apiak's going to lose a couple of positions.
And Wright is still continuing to fall. He kind of got a little bit of a door from Jeff Lednam as Jeff Lednam gets around Apiak, but that forced Chris Wright wide, and now Chapman's going to get around Chris Wright. Chris Wright all the way back to the 13th spot, not having a good day right now. Good day gone bad very quickly for Chris Wright. But as we talked about, still around 137, I think it is right now to go. Plenty of time for him to recover, but just not what you want to see right now if you're Chris Wright.
Yeah, and by the time he's entering 1, Pacey Wygent is exiting turn 4. Wygent, he is 1.6 seconds ahead of Jonathan Parker. Parker a little bit quicker that last lap, but overall it has been Wygent turning faster laps than anybody else in the field. Byron Jones, Josh Arnold, they continue to battle for the 5th position. Arnold goes a little high. Byron Jones looking to the inside. They are still battling. Arnold a little bit better on entry, but that time Byron Jones almost had Arnold clear, and Zachary Meredith is also there.
And right now, Zachary Meredith's best friend is Byron Jones, because if Byron Jones can get clear of Arnold, as Arnold sends it into the corner, into the wall. And they did see that, Josh, as you came over the driver radio. Hard contact to the outside wall, and now Kenneth Cheney all over the bumper. Josh Arnold.
And, you know, sometimes when you're battling with other drivers, could just get a little bit too aggressive trying to test your limits. And I think Arnold, he found past the limit where he could go. Meanwhile, Wright, he is battling with Happyack, trying to work his way back up towards the front now. Wright, he is 13th. He's looking to take 12th away from Happyack. Right now is closest battle on track. Andrew Chapman, Nick Happyack, and Chris Wright for 11th, 12th, and 13th positions. Josh Arnold.
Go ahead.
Josh Arnold under pressure from Kenneth Cheney.
I was just going to say, I give it about maybe 10-ish, 15-ish laps here. And Pacey Wygent's going to start catching some lap traffic.
Yeah, it's not going to take long. And Wygent, yeah, between Wygent and Parker has kind of stayed right around the same as where it's been. Parker had started to run faster lap times than Wygent, but overall, it's not been too much of a difference. So Wygent starts catching that lap traffic. I wonder how he's going to manage to get through it. Who is going to be nice to Wygent? Are they going to battle him? Are they going to try to stay on the lead lap? We're not guaranteed another caution to see somebody get a lucky dog, but some drivers might fight to stay on that lead lap in case a caution comes out.
And also, if you're in Pacey Wygent's position, I just got to say, no matter how hard they fight you, you've got to stick to that bottom.
Trouble.
Because if you give up, we do have. There's a caution. I knew it was coming.
Jeff Lednam got super loose off turn 4, but then it actually was Andrew Chapman that brought out the caution. I will say I'm impressed. Lednam was able to save his car. I thought for sure he was going to lose it there, and that's actually what I called out. And then in the background, Andrew Chapman was not so fortunate to save his vehicle and spun it out. Let's take a look at the replay here. See, there is Jeff Lednam. In the background here is Andrew Chapman. Let's see if we can get a better look at what happened with Chapman. Just losing it off 4, locking it up. Great job not to hit that inside wall. That could have been costly.
Absolutely, it could have, but it looks like it forces his hand to come down and get some tires. And I'm noticing a trend here, Josh. We've ran about 20 to 30 laps every run since that first caution. Obviously, the first caution was brought out by a self-spin because of hitting the curb. Every other caution has been practically a self-spin because of, I would say, hot tires.
Yeah, I think you are correct there. Hot tires and just being a little bit too aggressive on that throttle. Donald Kite, though, he is race leader. We've had a few drivers stay out here. It's Kite, Byron Jones, Kenneth Cheney, and Jeff Lednam, I believe. Top 4. Pacey Wygent, first car that came down pit road, first car off pit road. He will be 5th. Jonathan Parker Will restart 6th, it appears. And this will also allow Chris Wright to take a breath. And I believe, yeah, he came down pit road. Looks like got 4 fresh tires on his machine. So take a deep breath. Put what's happened in the past behind him and focus forward from here on out.
Yeah, and, you know, we talked a couple minutes ago about Pacey Wygant and how he would deal with traffic. Well, now we've had a caution and it's put him back into traffic a little bit here. He's going to have 4 cars in front of him that are not on fresh tires. Excuse me. And we've seen how aggressive the 00 is on restarts. And now he's got fresh tires, but these 4 in front of him don't have fresh tires. This is going to be the test of the race for him as a driver and for these drivers in front of him, if they can hold him off and if he can maneuver his way through the traffic.
32 laps is what these top 4 have on their tires. Everybody else, brand new tires. Pace truck is in. Off turn 4, Donald Kite. He's gonna have the command. He gets going and already really clear. Everybody else did not really go. Jeff Lednum, I think he spun his tires a little bit. And Pacey Wygant getting around Byron Jones already. Right there with Kenneth Cheney.
As I mentioned, this is his strong suit, his restarts. He gets a great launch on these restarts, and he's very aggressive, not afraid to make the moves he's got to make. As now he's gonna show his nose to the 76. 76 shuts the door, and he gives a little, it looked like he was about to give a little bit of a bump. And right now, top 3 still remain the same, but I anticipate that 00 coming through very soon as he gets a run right now on the 76.
Also keep an eye on Cole Snyder just behind Pacey Wygant. Snyder has been aggressive so far. Oh, Cheney having a moment. Snyder's going to have to go to the outside.
Yeah, and honestly, the best move for Snyder was to go to the outside, because coming to his inside was that 92 of Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker showing he's not afraid to get aggressive here.
Chris Wright also in the picture. He is 6th. Cole Snyder clears Cheney.
And we have a lead change.
Indeed we do. Pacey Wygant has gotten around Donald Kite. And Parker's continuing to be behind that 24, Cole Snyder. They're going to try to make their way around the 39, Donald Kite. Snyder a little loose there on corner entry.
And look who has re-entered the picture up front here. Chris Wright going to the inside of Donald Kite here. As Kite loses 3 positions that lap. And Chris Wright jumps up.
Chris Wright already back into the top 5. Make that P4. Jonathan Parker look at the inside of Snyder. Snyder going to drive it in just a little bit deeper to shut that door of Jonathan Parker. Trying to make that move. Parker settling for P3 right at the moment. Parker is all over the back bumper of that 24 Cole Snyder though. Snyder goes high. Parker I think got a little loose. That's going to open up the door here. Snyder wide. Parker will clear Snyder.
With Parker having that clear track, now we get to see what I would say is arguably 2 of the fastest cars on the track right now go at it, as we can't count out that 69 either of Chris Wright. He's in that conversation for fastest car on the track, as he's still trying to look to the inside of Cole Snyder.
Wright's gonna take a wider entry and a shallow English. A lower exit there. Trying to gain anything he can on Snyder down the straightaways. Right all over the bumper of Snyder. He's going to look to the inside. Not quite able to get there, but he does. Actually, Snyder running wide now. Snyder going to clear right. But I think he ran a little wide. A little too much in the corner. Snyder caught the wall. That's going to be side by side there. Down the front straightaway. Chris Wright with the advantage now.
But with all that side by side, now we're looking at gaps of under a second for Jonathan Parker, 2 Pacey Wygen, but 2 seconds is the gap for Chris Wright to the leader. So over a second, almost over a second, I would say, to second place. And that definitely cost Chris Wright some time there battling with the 24.
I have to agree with you there, but it's 92. Jonathan Parker, he is putting in some lap times here. Running down Pacey Wygen. Over 6/10 is the gap between first and second.
And I was gonna bring it up, but they swapped places this lap, last lap, or 2 laps ago now. Chris Wright was faster than Jonathan Parker as we have a caution on track.
It's gonna be Donald Kite. Oh, contact with Andrew Chapman.
Indeed, there was, and oh boy, that's 2 drivers going for the same piece of real estate. I think can't really see if the 18 came up or if the 39 just chops it down. This is just my naked eyeball looking at it. I see the 39 set in his line, and it looks like the 18 comes in a little shallow, and some help of netcode actually is what allows them to go around. There was about a foot of room between the 2 cars. So I would say netcode is our one to blame there, but 18 definitely took a more shallow line and kind of more of a straight entry than what Donald Kite was taking into that corner. But again, folks, I'm just a commentator. I am not here to assign blame. I'm just analyzing what I see.
So we are almost halfway in this race. The Di9 Designs NAOR series. You heard our picks to win earlier. Sorry for cutting you off there, John, but you heard our picks to win earlier. Of course, I chose that 69, Chris Wright. Jonathan Canfield chose Jonathan Parker. Guys, type in the comments who you think is going to win this race. Who is your pick? Who do you have? Curious to know.
And if we can be so bold as to say so, while you're here, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We did just recently hit a milestone in JCTV. And also, while you're here, this helps everybody out. Please consider hitting the like button if you enjoy the racing, if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoy any of it. Just consider hitting the like button. It helps JCTV as a whole out. Same thing with the subscribing. And as Josh just mentioned, tell us who you think's going to win.
I'll tell you what, if I'm sticking with my pick of Chris Wright. I wouldn't change. I couldn't change anyway, but I'll tell you what, if I were to, Pacey Wygen, he has definitely been on fire several weeks in a row and looking really good tonight once again. Choosing the outside for this restart. He really likes being up there on these restarts. 104 laps to go when we go back green. Pace truck is into the hands of Pacey Wygen. Off turn 4 into the restart zone. Green flag. And Wygen is already clear of Jonathan Parker. All single file already. Parker, though, is not wanting Wygen to get away.
Absolutely, 92 staying all over that 00, but look who actually cleared for the 3rd spot and is probably going to... Oh, we have a yellow on track.
Donald Kite once again, heavy damage. Mike Campbell also involved.
We have some hot drivers on the radio.
Actually, I don't know.
Ooh, I see where it all started, and I'm hearing the banter between drivers on chat. And it started with the two of Byron Jones and Kenneth Cheney. And I'll tell you just from what I hear, these two drivers are not happy with each other about that incident.
Oh, Jones got loose.
And that looseness collects Kenneth Cheney, the 39 of Donald Kite, and the 22 of Josh Arnold. And boy, oh boy, I got to give a shout out where it's due. He had a terrible crash earlier, but biggest of credit to that 71 of Mike Campbell. Locking it up, getting on the brakes, did not run over the 22, and did not hit a thing during that wreck. And he was right in the middle of it.
You see the little wiggle out of Byron Jones, and Cheney nowhere to go into Jones there. I know from inside the cockpit you feel different things happening, but I'm not sure if you could agree with me here. I think that's just a racing deal. Jones getting loose there and trying to correct his car.
Absolutely, and just to shed light on what I mean by the two drivers not being happy with each other, for yourself, Josh, because I know you're not listening to the driver chat, and for all the folks at home, Byron Jones is just upset because he feels like Kenneth Cheney drove through him instead of lifting when he got loose. That is pretty much what they argued about, and we'll leave it at that. From there, it's going to be about the admins assigning blame that they'll do after the race. And again, we're just commentators. We just bring you stuff that we hear and that we see.
Spacey Wajek continues to lead the race. Jonathan Parker, P2. Cole Snyder, 3rd. Chris Wright, 4th. And Nick Kapiak in 5th place here.
And as we come up on the halfway mark, Josh, you already kind of talked about a driver that you would switch your pick to. But we're going to go a little bit of a different subject here. So we're coming up on halfway. Who is somebody that you would say, for the folks at home, they need to watch here as we come halfway in this thing? Somebody that you've seen maybe battle from the back to the front, somebody that you've seen fall from the front to the back that could make another charge to the front, something like that.
Yeah, I have to say, I haven't really mentioned it too much tonight, but I am impressed with the run that the 17 Zachary Meredith has had. He's got a bit quiet, had a decent qualifying run, but he's been running up there most of the race, and I'm wondering if it's crunch time, if he's going to give these guys something to fight for. But the green flag is back out. Spacey Wajek once again taking that outside line. He's going to clear Jonathan Parker easily here. Cole Snyder battling to the inside of Chris Wright. Chris Wright, though, trying so hard to hang on. Oh, contact. Wright's going to go around, and caution.
Yeah, and, you know, I really can't say who's... That's a racing deal all the way right there. I can't say Wright turned down. I can't say that Snyder came up. Snyder showed his nose, and Chris Wright wasn't willing to give too much room. He did give room, but just not enough, clearly, as he goes around there. And we have another caution. And Josh, are we going to get more than 2 green flag laps here, hopefully?
I think we will. We saw these guys earlier do a few 30-lap runs. I think they can do it again. But you know what? Step away for just a second. Watch some more of Juicy Spider gaming videos.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Waving green flag is in the air. We are underway here from Darlington. Already single file throughout the entire field.
Big contact. Basically a wreck with no caution.
Flag is waving. Andrew Chapman, man on a mission. These 3 are under a blanket. I wonder if he's doing more mirror driving or more windshield driving. Green flag pit stop's happening here a little bit sooner than I expected. Oh, Nick Kapiak might get a penalty there. Off turn 4 at the line. Get it, JD. Race winner here at Darlington. side by side. Green flag back out here. Pacey Wygen. Once again, choosing the outside line. I think Parker was ready for it this time. You can only do the same thing so many times before your competitors learn what you're doing. And Jonathan Parker, he is there challenging Pacey Wygen for that race lead. Wygen, though, he's going to clear Parker. But Parker gets right back to the inside.
Wygen does a great job just getting a run off the corner on the outside line. But as you mentioned there, Jonathan Parker much more aggressive there. You give a driver so many restarts, he's going to learn how to get one right on the inside lane. And that's exactly what Jonathan Parker did. Just needs a couple more notes added to his notebook. And I think he took a couple right there. I expect to see him actually use that against Pacey Wygen as the race gets later and later.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I don't think Pacey can elect to restart on the outside 2 more times, or he's going to have to try something different. But Parker, look into the inside once again. So far, it is Wygen holding strong. But Parker, he is showing the nose, letting him know he's there. He wants to lead. They're going to be tight.
Yeah, and as the tires warm up here, that run that Pacey's getting on the outside is only going to last him for so long. He's going to overheat his tires one of these times, and Jonathan Parker's going to get the better drive off one of these times on the bottom. But it's opened the door here for Meredith to get to the back bumper of Parker.
Yeah, and Cole Snyder right there as well. He's top 4 under a blanket. Parker still right there with Wygen. Being patient. Oh, little bobble there. Entering 3 for Jonathan Parker.
And this is what we've come used to seeing out of Jonathan Parker. When he knows he's faster, he does push, but he has great driver self-control. And I can say that as I've watched him both now here on Friday nights tonight, and I've watched him over the last couple of weeks that I've been on the Saturday night calls. So, I mean, he has shown great patience and discipline as a driver, but also shown that he's not afraid to make some moves and charge for the front if he has to.
Yeah, and I've spent a lot of time on track, not really watching him race the races in ITPN from the booth, but he definitely puts on an absolute clinic when he can, and he's looking once again to the inside of Pacey Wygen.
And here's where I talked about the tires are hot now. Pacey Wygen going to struggle to get the run off as Jonathan Parker pulls even with him this time instead of Pacey Wygen pulling on him as much as he does.
Parker misses the bottom just a little bit. That helps Wygen, but Parker is still right there. Wygen gets loose. He's lucky. He only lost one, but he's going to have another one here, possibly lost, as Snyder right there. Snyder is going to attack, take the position away from Wygen.
Now if you're Wygen, we've said how aggressive he is, but he needs to settle back in here. He needs to let those tires cool off. He just got them way hot, sliding off deep into that corner. Got to settle back in here and recover, because if you try to do too much right now, you're going to end up in the same position Chris Wright did a couple runs ago, where you're going to fall all the way to the back and have way overheated tires.
You asked me very recently who's the driver I thought was going to be one to watch. I said Zachary Meredith. He's here, P2. Oh, Parker running wide. Meredith, get loose. Meredith is one of those drivers that, you know, he was the one to watch out for back on the console days. He was one that never seemed like I could beat him when we were in racing in the console days. He was fast back then. He's fast now. Still looking for the first win on the season.
And he's got pace here with the 92 out in front of him. The only thing I'd like to see from him as a driver right now is getting down as low as Jonathan Parker is in that corner. He gets a great run off, but if he puts his car down low in the entry of the corner and he can still continue to get that same run off, he'll pass Jonathan Parker. Right now, he's just running a half a lane up higher than Jonathan Parker is on entry.
And Parker actually running faster lap times than Meredith right now because of that. But Meredith trying to stay right there with Parker. They are closing in on a slow car. That is 22 of Josh Arnold, just up the road there. Gap is half a second between Parker and Meredith.
And I'm kind of noticing a little bit of a trend here as Parker continues to try and stretch his lead a little bit. They're kind of swapping lap times right now, though. One lap, it's Jonathan Parker in the 20.3s and Meredith's in the 20.4s. The next lap, Meredith's in the 20.3s and Parker's in the 20.4s. They're kind of holding even right now, but I think as these tires are wearing in, Jonathan Parker looks like he's getting more consistent laps and starting to stretch this lead out.
Yeah, I saw Meredith get squirrely on exit 4 last time by, and that hurt him a little bit. You see here, the gap is growing. Parker right there with Arnold. Arnold's going to pull it in to safety of pit road. Not wanting to be in the way. Here we have a battle between Snyder, Wygen, and Cheney. And Cheney appears he's having some issues of his own.
One thing I'll say, we've seen the 76 up and down the field tonight, but huge credit to him. He has put on a stellar run and still up here in the top 5. Just as hectic of a night as it has been for him, he's still up here in the top 5 and still possibly could take home more positions here as the two in front of him are not far away from him.
Oh. Snyder ran wide, I believe. Wygent is all over the back bumper of Snyder. Just Wygent staying patient right now. Not trying to press the issue too much.
As I'm looking through the field, I'm not really seeing any huge battles. I think the next battle that might be heating up would be Byron Jones is a lap car, but he is around the 18 of Andrew Chapman. McGuire and Kite are too far apart to worry about. Ledham and Campbell are spread out. So really the battle is, but the closest battle on track for position is going to be the 17, the 24, the 00, and throw the 76 in there too, because he's right there.
Something interesting to me that I just thought about as I saw Nick Capiak coming down pit road there. I was wondering if it was a matter of him having to pit under green for fuel. And one nice thing about what Josh Arnold does during his race notes is he will put down about how many laps that drivers can run. Now, he didn't put down how many laps they can run, but he did say with their fuel capacity for this race, you do about 2.5 runs. So I did some math here, and I think everybody is going to have to pit one more time. And I think they're right about in that window when you're going to see drivers start pitting. I could completely be wrong here. It's my math may be way off. But that is what I'm getting. Battle
Deal with them. Yeah, go ahead.
Battle for P2 continues. It really hasn't changed much, but Meredith holding on. Snyder is there, riding around, pacing Wygent and fourth, and Kenneth Cheney right there in fifth as well. Meanwhile, Jonathan Parker has pulled out to a 1.6 second lead.
And really, still the only battle for position on track is between these 3 to 4 drivers as they're just running nose to tail as the 17 peels off for pit road. We got stops happening right now, Josh.
Yeah, Zachary Meredith going to come down pit road for his pit stop, and you know what I'm surprised about all of this? Green flag pit stops at Martinsville.
I think I'm just as surprised as you, but realistically, this is probably the window that you want to be in to make it to the end. So I like the strategy call here by the 17, knowing that we're right there at that window. Bring it down, get the fresh set, and get back out there with a full tank of fuel.
Well, Snyder also coming down pit road. And it is a long pit road, slow as well. 35 miles per hour is pit road speed. You're going to lose about 2 laps here. And this is a track where you do not want to get caught in pit cycles when a caution comes out. Jonathan Parker continues to lead. He's got a 2.3 second gap over Pacey Wygent. Wondering when he's going to make that turn into pit road. Where does Wygent come in? Nobody else has made that turn down pit road just yet. These 4, though, they've come down pit road. Apiak, Arnold, Meredith, and Snyder. And Arnold and Hapiak came down several laps ago. Snyder and Meredith going to drive past them. But Snyder, he gained the position through pit cycles. He was able to get ahead of Meredith. Jason McGuire running wide. McGuire, 8th place. 50 laps to go here. Jonathan Parker is coming down pit road now.
And that puts the field back in the hands of Pacey Wygent with Kenneth Cheney right behind him. Interested to see how long they run here, knowing that the 92 is going to be out here within a lap or so with fresh tires and a full tank of fuel to make it to the end.
Parker in cleanly. Double 0 and 76. Stay out. Chris Wright. He is in pit road though. He's at 69. Making his stop. Parker already off the way. Clean stop for that 92, and Pacey Wygent come down pit road now.
Yeah, and something I'm going to note, not as dominant of a performance for this 76, but this is eerily similar to what we seen last week with the last green flag pit stop at Darlington. Kenneth Cheney, I believe if I remember correctly, he ran it longer than the 2 that he was running with up front, and he ended up having the fresher set of tires and walking away with a win there. So we'll see if his strategy play pulls out for him tonight.
Jonathan Parker came around pit road, and he's gonna have about half a straightaway over Pacey Wygent. And Meredith, Snyder, they have gotten around Parker because of having those fresher tires, but Parker's not too far behind them. That's 2 right in front there, so it won't be long. Parker will have them ran down. Meanwhile, Wygent stuck behind Hapiak and Kite. Jeff Lednum has come down pit road though, and Ken Cheney continues to lead. It's not coming down pit road just yet. Elijah has gotten around Kite. Meanwhile,
On it. Go ahead.
I'll go. Parker has caught up to Meredith and struggling to get around Meredith and Snyder. Meredith's going to run wide here. That's going to open the door for Parker. Parker going to clear. Now he has the sights set on Snyder. Snyder has been a little bit more aggressive this race. I'm not so sure he just pulls to the side and allows Parker to take the position.
Now, I was getting ready to say, if you're Ken Cheney, you cannot run this much longer. These guys behind you are on fresh tires, and you are about 0.4 of a second slower than them right now each lap. They are closing on you, and you already know you're going to lose time by sitting on this pit road. If you're Ken Cheney, you got to bring it down soon.
Parker is underneath Snyder. Parker now clear track in front of him. 3 drivers still to come down pit road. That is Cheney, Kite, and Campbell. But going to your point, I agree. Cheney, he needs to come down. The only thing that could work in his favor here is a caution.
And I think at this point, he's still running out here. That's what he's got to be hoping for. He's got to be thinking that these guys are battling really hard for position behind him and that there's going to be another caution.
You look at it here, Parker is not too far behind Cheney. In fact, there's no cars between the two. So this is going to put Parker right there in the picture. Parker could unlap himself here before Cheney even comes down pit road. And then at that point, Cheney's probably going to lose a couple of laps here. And his whole strategy of where he was sitting at, it's going to go down the drain.
And you took the words right out of my mouth, Josh, as he finally pulls it down pit road. I'm guessing he's seen the 92 in his mirror and decided to pull it down, but really having a good run. I just question what he was trying to do there. He had to be thinking there was going to be another caution.
Now Campbell and Kite, only drivers yet to come down pit road. Parker is right behind Campbell, so Parker is about to get P3, I believe. Parker
That would actually be the battle for second as Kenneth Cheney's on pit road. Donald Kite cycles to the lead, and Jonathan Parker should be up to second here. Yes, indeed he is.
Donald Kite, race leader. He's coming 30 laps to go here at the line. Still has to come down pit road. He's been out there 72 laps. And he's got about a straightaway lead on Parker.
Oh, and we have contact. Nick Hapiak is around off the bumper of Kenneth Cheney.
Well, that changes things.
We had been talking about Kenneth Cheney had to think there was another caution coming out. He just created another one right there. But duly noted, Kenneth Cheney never lost a lap while he was under green flag pit stop. So can't count him out here on this race, but again, I go back to questioning his call, and I question his judgment a little bit there as he just made light contact with the 6 and sent him around.
Pit road was open. Donald Kite stayed out. Everybody else came down pit road. Kite electing to come down pit road that time, so race leader, I believe it's going to be Jonathan Parker. Actually, that may not be the case.
No,
Zachary
I'm
Meredith.
showing Meredith on the lead lap, and looks like Arnold should be getting waved. McGuire, I think, is going to have to drop to the back here, along with Lednum, because of Meredith being out there. So it would only be Josh Arnold getting the wave here.
Yes, we're going to have Meredith, Cheney, Chapman, and then Parker, Snyder, and Kite. I believe is going to be the top 5 at the restart.
And as anticipated, as I'm seeing, McGuire and Lednum not going to be able to get their laps back here. Just the 22 of Arnold for being in front of the leaders basically at the time of caution. Or at least when everyone came down pit road, he cycles to the front of them, and he'll be the only one getting a lap back here. But he is also 2 laps down as opposed to their 1. Looks like Meredith will take the bottom. That puts Kenneth Cheney on the outside, and I don't like to do the commentator's curse thing here, Josh, but I don't think we're done yet. We have a driver that we've seen be very aggressive here tonight in Kenneth Cheney, starting on the outside as the pace truck pulls down. And we've got another driver that's been dominant in the second row on the outside in the 92 of Jonathan Parker. But field in the hands of the 17. Restart zone. They hit it now. 17 takes off. Kenneth Cheney not as good of a restart, but Jonathan Parker's all over his rear bumper. Kenneth Cheney gets to the outside coming off of turn 2, Josh.
Parker needs to get down to the bottom quick. And Cheney.
Oh,
Parker
Jonathan
around.
Parker's around. And KO's the back end of that car. Hopefully he can get it fixed under caution here, but man, that is a huge blow to the guy that has been up front all night here tonight.
There we go, just locked it up. And there was some more activity as well afterwards. But real quick, I'm wondering if he just locked it up not to get into the back of Cheney, because he was right there. And I think Parker didn't want to get into the back of Cheney.
Well, and we're going to have another restart here with 28 laps to go. 29, I believe it is. Be 28 when we cross the line. And Kenneth Janey did get a good restart there on that outside lane, but you're giving him another chance here with this caution coming out. We're going to see what happens. I hope that 92 can get his car fixed before we go back green, as indeed he is pulling off pit road, but the back end has seen better days.
Yeah, a lot of damage back there. You know, I'll tell you what, Parker, he's had an impressive debut in the Di9 Designs NAOR series. That if he's not able to get back up there this race, I think he's proved that he'll be battling with these guys for weeks to come.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. And with him making a start here tonight, we obviously can't speak for how many starts he'll make. Only a couple races left in this season. But if he chooses to come back and race, you can expect that 92 to be somewhere up near the front at any track we go to. The field is now double file behind the pace truck with the lights off on the pace truck. 17, Zachary Meredith on the inside. Going to be the control car. Kenneth Janey on the outside. Andrew Chapman, Cole Snyder, Chris Wright, and Donald Kite still in the 6th position. As we are in the box, green is out. Throttles are down. Kenneth Janey yet again another bad start for that 76 as he pulls to the outside of Chapman, trying to get a run on exit. We'll see if he clears here. Indeed he does. He's going to pull down and be at the bumper of the 17. And double file as we come across the line, Josh.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there in the back between Chris Wright and Cole Snyder. Not enough to really rough him up, but they're still battling. Oh, contact. Donald Kite in the wall. Somebody else around. I believe that's 7. Chase McGuire. Indeed it is. We are under our 11th caution of the night.
And looking back at the replay, it was contact with the 00 in the 6 that sent the 6 actually up into the 39. 39 doing nothing wrong there. Just out there in no man's land where the 6 basically, the 39 turned into the wall there for the 6. And then the 7, just another innocent bystander coming off the corner and just barely clips the 39.
Watching above McGuire, and I think he just couldn't see what was going on there, and unfortunately got collected.
Well, and Josh, I hate to compare sim racing to real life racing sometimes, but with this race in particular having caution laps not count, and the amount of cautions we've had, and when they've fallen, I must admit, this race has felt a lot similar to the clash that just happened last Sunday.
It's funny you mentioned that, John. Actually, a little bit of a funny story. My mom and I, we were watching the race, and she actually fell asleep before the halftime break. And then she woke up towards the end, and I don't remember which commentator it was, but one of them said about having 16 cautions. And my mom was like, wow, how many did they say? I said 16, and at least 27 of them happened in the second half. This race, I don't think is quite like that, but a little bit of similarities between the two. This is our 11th caution, and we're going to restart 25 laps to go. The pressure, it's definitely on. These drivers want it. Meredith is out there on 32 lap old tires. Everybody else under 10 laps on their tires of green flag runs. So, you know, Meredith, he's not going to just pull over to the side and let him have it. Cheney has had struggles on restarts, but he's fortunately for him been able to get back up into P2. But how many more times can he have that happen? Chris Wright, he's going to be restarting P3, by the way.
I was just getting ready to mention that Kenneth Cheney really can't afford to have a restart like he's been having, because now you've got a driver in Chris Wright who we've seen come from the back to the front multiple times tonight. Here he is again. He was just in the back a couple laps ago. Now he's sitting right there in third. He's going to be strong on this restart. So if you're the 76, you need to get up on the wheel here and you need to get a good restart. Pace truck is down pit road.
Indeed it is. And through 3 and 4, once again, Zachary Meredith in control of this race. 2 iRacing wins to his career in the Di9 Designs NAOR series. Green flag is in the air. Cheney much better on the restart that time by. He's still hanging at the outside of Zachary Meredith, who's running a great job on the inside. But Cheney, with those newer tires, holding strong. Meredith's going to run wide. This opens up the door for Chris Wright.
It really does, and Kenneth Cheney's going to pull down and set the contact between them.
Oh my!
How did they almost keep it straight? Zachary Meredith doing all he could to wheel it there. He got a huge shot from Kenneth Cheney into that corner and almost kept it straight. Caution does come out, but man, he almost kept that straight. That really all started off of turn 4. Kenneth Cheney got a great run on exit. Self-clears himself in front of the 69, but probably wasn't looking out the windshield at that moment as he cleared himself and just gets into the back of the 17 as they enter the braking zone.
Yes, so you see here, Cheney just, as you mentioned, wanting to get clear of Wright as soon as he could, and just led to the contact. Meredith sliding back up, and then going around. Arnold spinning in the back as well. And number 2, Byron Jones locking it up, coming to a complete stop. Not getting involved in that.
And I will not completely sugarcoat it. There are a lot of drivers in this field that are saying the 76 kind of deserves an EOL for that one. Can't say I completely disagree in what they're saying. He has been involved in multiple incidents here tonight, and I can understand some of the frustration from the drivers with how he has raced them and how all of them have been racing each other. But this is Martinsville, and this is what we expect. Close racing, contact, bump and runs. You're going to see it all, and right now, that little bump and run is going to put the 76 in the lead, but what we got to watch out for is how much respect is the 76 going to get from this field tonight after how many incidents he's been in.
I'll tell you what, you take 4 of the best that have either been in the series or in this race tonight and put them all behind Cheney. Look at 2nd through 5th. It is Wright, Wygen, Snyder, and Parker. And they're all going to be restarting right behind Kenneth Cheney. 23 laps to go when we go back green. John, I'm not a betting man, but I think if I had $5, to put on anybody but Cheney. I'm going to take that bet.
Absolutely, and I definitely don't think we're done wrecking here. As we've already talked about, tensions are high, drivers are heated, and caution laps don't count. So every caution we have, that intensity builds a little bit more as we get closer to the finish.
It is 1 to green. Cheney chooses the inside line. Pace truck in to the safety of pit road. Kenneth Cheney will have the choice of when to go inside the restart zone. And he goes early. Green flag is in the air. Cheney already clear of right. Wygen trying to do the same. Wygen gonna get clear of right. Parker trying to follow suit. Parker to the inside of right.
And we talked about him a couple laps ago when he spun. We said we wouldn't be surprised if that 92 found his way back up here, and indeed he has, as he's looking to the inside of Chris Wright. Chris Wright shuts the door, and right now that 00 is all over the back bumper of Kenneth Cheney. Kenneth Cheney trying to get away from this field. You know, a lot of this field has lost some respect for how he's been racing tonight. We'll see if anybody decides to pay the favor back to him. I don't see it being the 00. But there's a couple drivers that I see in line behind the 76. If he gets stuck on the outside, he is going to be a sitting duck.
Cheney moves wide. Opens up the door for Pacey Wygen. Cheney with a great exit, though.
And he's going to hold on to the lead for now as the 69 and the 92 are closing in on this battle. 92 goes to the outside of the 69, probably just trying to avoid breaking into the back of the 69, as I don't think the tires are where they need to be to make a pass on the outside. But really put the top 4 under a blanket, and soon it's going to be top 5, because right behind these 4, you know, Cole Snyder is just waiting as the 18 is going to go around in the back.
And we are under caution.
And again, I literally just talked about the tires and where they're at and how they're not going to be able to make a pass on the outside. But this is another result of just tires being hot and someone stepping on that throttle too quickly. But he gets it locked down and no damage. So good job to the 18 getting that car slowed down and stopped in time before he would hit the inside wall. The 76 pulls down pit road here. Looks like he's going to take some fresh tires. 17 also coming down pit road to get some fresh tires. Not a terrible call here within 20 to go. We've seen how good fresh tires can be. But again, given those fresh tires to a driver that I would say has been the most aggressive in this field and probably bumped more guys out of the way than we had in the field originally, it's going to be a tall order for this 76 to get through the field, but we are getting ready to see a show now.
So your top 3 are going to be Wygen, Wright, and Parker. And I'm telling you what, I figured that these 3 would be battling, but after the struggles or the issues that these 3 have had, I did not think that they would be the 3 running up front with 18 laps to go in this race.
And before we go green real quick, I feel like I'm picking on the 76 a little too much. I want to make it clear. I am not biased at all. I was extremely happy last week for Kenneth and the energy that he had in winning that race. And I'm not saying that he's a bad driver or he's wrecking anybody. Again, I just say what I see, and what I see tonight was a lot of contact coming from his camp. As we might have some shenanigans going on under caution. I just heard the 76 actually mic up saying, do it again. Don't know who he had contact with. I'm going to go back and investigate. Josh, you go ahead and talk to the people.
I'm wondering, it's right behind him. Of course, those two made contacts. I'm wondering if there's something with Meredith.
Oh, indeed it was. Meredith gave him a little shot on the back straightaway, probably just showing his displeasure for how he's been raced. As we're going to get ready to go to green.
Mason Wygent choosing the outside line once again. Goes right. As the inside, green flag is in the air. Right did not.
Oh, and Cole Snyder spins the tires hard there, stacks up the field.
Top three, Wygent right, Parker. Wygent got a little wide there.
And in the back, we've got guys just going at it, and the driver radio is just hot right now, I'll tell you, Josh. I can't repeat what these guys are saying over the stream, but it is hot right now, and it involves the 76, as you can imagine. Oh, and the 17's going to go around.
We're going to have another restart.
And I keep talking about it. The tensions are getting higher in this race. These drivers have had enough of each other for a week. But this is, and I've heard it so many times, and I hate to say it, this is short track racing. This is exactly what you expect. Tensions are hot. Drivers are hot. The engines are definitely hot, and the tires are getting hot.
And I don't think these drivers have any more tires to take.
And again, I got to give a credit to the field here that they didn't crash on the restart, because I don't know if you can pull it up, Josh, with your replay system, but Cole Snyder on that restart had a huge tire spin that just stacked up the field, and we were lucky to not have a caution right there.
Try to pull it up. There was the restart.
Folks, I wish you at home could hear what these drivers are saying to each other over the radio. It's interesting. If we were a little bit more of a mature channel, maybe we could let you hear it. But right now, we cannot let you guys hear it. And just keep in mind, like I said, it's short track. Tempers are hot. Josh, I don't know about you. I can't wait to get to some of these interviews. I feel like there's going to be smack talk coming from somebody. Whoever wins this race, there's going to be some smack talk coming out of it.
It's gonna be interesting. That's for sure.
And you and I know driver egos. We are drivers ourselves. Driver egos are higher than anything you can even climb to.
You know, I don't remember what race car driver said it. Was it Jimmy Spencer? Said race car drivers never forget. And, you know, I think tonight, short track in Martinsville, it brings the tempers. And those race car drivers, they're not going to forget. Lights off on the pace truck. Pacey Wygen chooses the inside lane. And I think this is the first time that I'm saying that tonight, as Wygen has been choosing the outside several restarts in a row that he's been in control of. So that's going to put Chris Wright on the outside and Jonathan Parker right behind Wygen. If I'm Parker, I'm going to get right to the back bumper of Wygen. Be ready for this restart. Space car is in, and green flag is in the air.
Green flag is out, and right before we came to that start, the 76 and the 18 are just, they're not happy with each other. I don't think there's a driver in this field right now that's really happy with the 76, and like I said, not a bad guy, not a bad driver at all, but he's just not making a lot of friends tonight.
So on that restart, Parker was able to get clear of Wright, and Parker, he's right there with Wygen. 13 to go, coming to 12. Parker has a chance, but Wygen doing a great job. Actually, fastest car on track. Only driver to run a 19-second lap time was Pacey Wygen. Oh, running wide. That opens up the door.
And he does clear for now, but 4 cars under a blanket here.
Parker
And I don't see much side-by-side throughout the field. Most of the field is actually single file. I think all of the field is single file right now.
10 laps to go.
Pacey Wygen continues to lead the field here, but he has got some company up there with the 92 and the 69 and even the 24. I believe, I don't know if it was in Discord or in Twitter, but I believe I seen a post from that 24, and he said he was either going to be up front or he was going to finish in the back because of the history that Jeff Gordon has here. He obviously runs that Jeff Gordon type of scheme. He wants to finish like Gordon does, so don't count that 24 out. He's feeling checkers or wreckers here tonight.
Wright's trying to make a move on Parker. Parker was going down, trying to make a move on Wright. We have a caution, though, and I'm sorry that was Wygen, but it is 17. Zachary Meredith around. And once again, we're going to have another restart.
Yes, we will. And 17 looks like he just went down into the braking zone and he was just too hot. Car snaps around on him. And he sits and waits for the field to pass and gets it rolling. So we've talked about our picks to win, drivers to watch, and now I'm going to throw another one out there. I think we can throw the most controversial driver award out there for the night. I think it has to go to the 76 with how much action we've seen out of him, whether it's leading the race or being involved in incidents on the track. He certainly wins the award for most controversial here tonight, as he's had plenty of radio chatter, plenty of laps led, and plenty of incidents.
I think you just described a race car driver there. Kenneth Chaney, I mean, he had one of his greatest races last week, and trying to come through with another one this week, and just not gone his way, or the way he's been hoping that it would. And yeah, you know, well, I'm trying to think, is it Dale Earnhardt Jr.? So in iRacing, some of you who may not have iRacing might not know this, and I'm old school. I still use the iRacing website rather than the UI. But for those that have been on iRacing for a while and used to use the website, there always was these little quotes. Every time you registered, you see this quote. And I think it's one from Dale Earnhardt Jr. It says, "You win some, you lose some, and you wreck some." And you know, for last week, Ken Chaney, he won some. This week, whole opposite of that, you know, and I think that that quote definitely describes what it's like as a race car driver.
Indeed, and I can attest to it personally, as lights are out on the pace truck, and the pace truck's going to pull down, but you have good weeks and you have bad weeks. It's all about how you deal with them. That really shows who you are as a driver. But pace truck is down. We're going to go green again. Jonathan Parker on the outside, Pacey Wygent on the inside. Does Pacey Wygent take the jump? Does Jonathan Parker get a good restart here? We're going to settle it here with 7 laps to go as we cross the line.
A great restart out of Parker and Wright. Wygent wanting to see them continue to stay side by side behind.
And as they come off 4, Chris Wright is clear of Jonathan Parker, and he sets his sights on that 00. He closes in on entry there, outbreaks the 00 just a little bit, and he does get a good run off. Yet again, he's deeper into the braking zone. Do they use the bumpers? Do they bring it across the line clean? Do we have another caution? We're going to find out here with 5 laps to go.
Pacey Wygent holding on to the position for now. Chris Wright is there, Jonathan Parker is there, and Nick Kapiak is not too far behind either. Right now, Wygent, he just needs the 4 best laps of his life here to collect another victory. Wright is right there.
And right behind them is Jonathan Parker. Throw 3 cars under a blanket. Small gap to Nick Kapiak in 4th. He took over the 4th spot on that restart, as Cole Snyder, I don't think, got a good enough restart to maintain the 4th spot.
Right, just not close enough to try to get a bumper to Pacey Wygent. Try to do a little bump and run. 2 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Oh, and even if he does the bump and run, if he doesn't do it just right, he could open the door for Jonathan Parker to sneak through. As he's right there on the bumper, we'll see coming to the white flag if they use the bumpers here to get a win or if they come across clean.
Wygent with a shallow entry right is right there. White flag is out there on the backstretch for the final time. Heading into turn 3, Wright is looking. Wright's going to send it. Not quite. It's going to be Pacey Wygent off turn 4. Pacey Wygent with the win.
Chris Wright finishes 2nd. Jonathan Parker 3rd. Nick Kapiak comes home 4th. Cole Snyder finishing up 5th for your top 5.
And a couple of junk cars here. And unhappy campers.
And that's about what you can expect from a Martinsville race. I told y'all coming down for those last 20 or so laps that it was getting hot over the driver radio. It's still hot over the driver radio right now post-race, but let's not take away from what actually needs to be talked about. The 00 getting his win. You know, second win of the season. We talked about short tracks being his thing earlier. We've seen that he had speed in the car. He showed us how aggressive he can be here. And now putting on a show as he's drifting around the corner, almost Denny Hamlin style, as Denny Hamlin did a couple years ago. Awesome celebration.
And this race was absolutely incredible. The battle for Wygen, Wright, and Parker. And I'm telling you, I think we're in a whole new era, if you will, for the racing in the Di9 Designs NAOR series. These three, I think it's going to be a battle. Week in and week out between the three, and I'm looking to see who's going to try to challenge them, who can get up there and say not so fast. This is I'm here too.
As he just got done celebrating, let's go ahead and see if we can catch a word with our winner here tonight. And Josh, I think we're going to see if we can double team him here, because I'm sure you're going to have questions for him too. So I would just go ahead and pull him up here, and we'll both interview him. Pacey Wygen, this is the boys in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry. Didn't realize I was muted.
Well, you're going to get double teamed by both of us tonight. We both got questions for you, but first and foremost, congrats on the win, and go ahead and talk about the racing and all the action that you guys had on track here tonight.
I'm not really sure what to say. I mean, this was literally my first race ever at Martinsville. My first practice laps were yesterday when I was actually helping Jawb with the fuel calculations or whatever. I ran about 70 laps. And then tonight, I wasn't expecting to be as fast as I was against the competitive field. It was just an all-out war tonight, though. You just wanted to be in the lead. You needed to nail your restarts, not spinning tires. I know I did a couple times, and it almost cost me. But no, just overall great race. Thanks to Chris Wright for not running me over there and using me up there. Really respectable racing against him and Parker too. But hey, 2 wins and what, 4 starts, 5 starts? Well, we'll take it.
Yeah, off to a strong start for sure in the Di9 Designs NAOR series. You know, this race, going back and looking back on it, you know, it was an incredible battle between you, Wright, and Parker. What was it like just, you know, racing around them and really keeping you on your toes, just trying to focus so hard?
I don't even know. I think that I'm actually better when I'm not super focused, because I had my teammates in my ear talking the entire last time in the last 2 laps. Finally, they're like, all right, let's shut up. But I wasn't focusing really at all, to be completely honest. I tend to miss my marks more if I'm focusing rather than not focused. I don't know. I do that in other games. I just play, and if I don't focus, I'm good. If I do focus, I tend to mess up a lot more. So, but the racing all night, it was fun. I don't really know how good it was towards, you know, the middle, the back of the pack. I wasn't really back there all that much, but from my point of view, it was all pretty good racing tonight.
Well, and you made your debut on a track very, very similar to this track at New Hampshire with this league, and we've seen that you had good speed there. You had really good speed here tonight. Would you argue to say that short tracks are kind of your strong suit, or would you say that you feel like you adapt better on other tracks?
It turns out I apparently am really good on the flat tracks. not necessarily short tracks, because you take me to Bristol and I'll finish 7 laps down, unless it's dirt. But short tracks, I'm just not good at all around. Richmond, I'm decent at, but primarily I like the short flat tracks. I mean, the New Hampshire race, I was really fast there, and quite literally the night before, somebody actually bought the track for me because I didn't have it. So, um, I don't know. It's just I'm really liking the flat tracks, I guess.
All right.
Season
Well,
is coming to a close here. We see Charlotte and Michigan next. What are you looking forward to about those tracks, and trying to race these guys over there?
Michigan's one of my better tracks. Charlotte, I'm quick at, and I don't know. I see the problem is I'll say I'm not very good somewhere, and then I end up going out and winning. So I should just really just shut up. um, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't really know how these guys race on a mile and a half. I haven't exactly been with a lot of these drivers on the mile and a half yet. And then obviously the 2 mile oval of Michigan. I love that track personally. It's one of my better tracks, I feel. So I don't know. It's just all up in the air. I'm too new still. I just don't know how it can stack up to the rest of the guys on a different variety of tracks.
and final thing before we let you go celebrate your win with your team and all your friends and everyone else who gets it done for you, just go ahead and got any shout outs or sponsors or anything like that that you need to give out here tonight?
Yeah, you guys for doing this whole deal broadcasting. JPA for putting on an AOR. My teammates Byron Jones, Zachary Meredith, they were with me all night tonight. Annoying possibly tonight a little bit, but they were still there, so still got to shout them out. But I mean, just shout out to my fiance. She watches every single week, no matter what it is, no matter how long it is. She's always there, even if I'm running dead last. She's still watching. So, big shout out to her. And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, congrats on the win, and let's go celebrate.
All right, thank you.
And that was race winner Pacey Wygant. So before we get into our final thoughts, let's go ahead and go down our running unofficial running order here, finishing results. So, of course, tonight's winner Pacey Wygant, Chris Wright bringing it home P2, Jonathan Parker in his debut. What a debut, finishing P3. Nick Kapiak in 4th, Will Snyder 5th. Andrew Chapman bringing it home 6th. Kenneth Cheney 7th. Zachary Meredith rebounding to 8th. Mike Campbell 9th. Byron Jones 1 lap down brings it home 10th. Joshua Arnold 11th. Jeff Lednum 12th. Donald Kite 8 laps down finishes 13th. Chase McGuire 14th. And I'm still learning first names with the 52 of is that Mike Morton?
I think it might be Mark. I'll check. Just go ahead and call him Morton for now.
Morton finishes 15th. Jose Quinones finishing 16th. And Austin J. McGill did not start the race. So 16 total drivers. I'm sorry, that's Enrique Quinones, not Jose. That's a name I should know. I'm just it's been a long week, I think, and a long race for these guys. But
It's okay, Josh. We all forgive you. I think we've all had that kind of week and that kind of race tonight. And just so they can't say we didn't get his name right, that is Mark Morton finishing in 15th tonight, 158 laps down.
Mark Morton. All right, so yeah, it's our unofficial results. So John, what do you think? What'd you take away from that race?
Well, for once, we go to a track that I have expectations for from a realistic standpoint of normal driving. And the Di9 NAOR series does not change what I see. I feel like we've seen a very atypical Martinsville race here tonight with, what was it, 13 cautions, I think, by the time we got to the end. And, you know, a lot of heated drivers, hot tempers, hot tires, pit stop strategies were differing. We got the full Martinsville experience tonight, and you know, where we talked about at the beginning of the show that this series is not known for being your atypical series where we go to a track where they should crash a million times and they go green checkered, but we didn't get that tonight. We went to a track where they should crash a bunch, and we had plenty of that. If you go through the field, I don't think you're going to see very many cars out there that didn't already have a dent, a scratch, or anything on them. I think everybody got a little bit of the action tonight. Everyone got fed a bumper when they didn't want to. Everyone had something go wrong at some point during this race. And, you know, really just shows that our winner had a lot of adversity to overcome. And going a little bit off of topic of this specific race, it's something that adversity thing is something I've talked about with my personal spotter. You become a better driver with how you deal with adversity, and I think Pacey Wygant dealt with adversity really well here tonight, and that's what helped him pull off this win.
Yeah, Wygant, it did not come easy. He had to earn it. He had to fight for everything he had, and you know, Wright could have moved him. Wright could have easily moved him out of the way. Parker could have done the same thing before that final caution that we saw, you know, and it's just competitors trying to keep it clean, but at the same time run hard. And, you know, Wygant, he could have made a mistake as well. So he had to keep it clean, stay alert, realize what's going on, and not make any mistakes himself. But yeah, I think that's going to do it from us here at Martinsville. Tomorrow night, you can catch me racing at Mile and a Half in Miami, Homestead Miami Speedway, in the Blazer Sim Racing and the Pits News Truck Series. Look forward to going there and seeing if we can get another PBR victory. Jonathan Parker trying to win a championship. Yes, it is the same Jonathan Parker you saw finish P3 here tonight. He is 10 points ahead of P2 Michael Kruger. And then Tuesday night for the Slide Job Racing League, we head to Chicagoland, correct?
Yes, we do. And I will just update everybody now. With it being Valentine's Day and me being married, luckily my wife works till 8 o'clock my time that night. But I have an appointment late that day. I may not even make the race, sadly.
Gotcha. But yeah, we'll see Chicagoland, and then next week, 1 week from today, we go to Charlotte for the running there double points event. So things are coming down to a close. So thank you guys for watching, all the drivers and admins for putting the series on. Thank you once again for all the love and support on JCTV. 300, and last I checked, 305 subscribers. That was before tonight. Not sure where we're at. We might still be there, but thank you to everybody for that. And you know, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next time.